Today I'd like to talk to you about some different monitor solutions or applications for the DJI Ronin-S. This is the hand grip, the battery pack, so I've just got it off to show you. So most of the time you may get yourself a high quality 4K monitor that does the different functions for checking, like zebra or the highlighting, that type of thing for focus, and they have the HDMI in and the HDMI out, and finding a spot where to put it can be somewhat difficult. The reason for that is on a tripod or something that doesn't move, you can put it into the flash mount, just screw that into the flash shoe, screw it down, screw the monitor, and it's on top of the camera. Or if you've got a cage, the quarter holes. But on gimbals, they move, and you may be standing here hanging on to the gimbal arm like that, and the gimbal could be pointing that way, that way, that way, that way, or that way. Putting it on top of the camera is sometimes as useless as the screen being on the back of the camera. It's fine when it's in your head, but if you haven't got a giraffe neck like most of us, when you've got it up above your head, you can't see it. When you're switching to the right or underslung, you can't see it. And if you're young and you've got perfect eyesight, you might be able to see the monitor. But when it's pointing down and the camera's pointing that way, the monitor is this way and you're standing up here. So that's why sometimes you need a good solution. And that's why a lot of these are being used. Now, how to fit it? For $6, you can get yourself what is known in the trade as a crab clamp. Now they call it a crab clamp because this part looks like the crab's claws when it just closes on it, and it has an arm screw, and they open up quite wide. As you can see with this particular model, the width is almost to what the diameter is. So you just put it in, tighten around whatever tube, and it's tight. They have a 3/8 and a 1/4 inch thread, the standard photographic type thread, and you can get yourself a flexible arm and attach it. But as you know, the arms on the Ronin-S are fairly large, so they're not so good. So you get what they call the large version, and it goes up to about 45–50mm opening. At the moment, that is on its maximum opening, and it just slides over. So even if I unclamp it, you can see it's still secure. Quite simple to screw on. I've got a 90-degree flexible clamp. As you can see, she folds up. So if you're doing a bit of overhead work, you can grip like such. You got the other tripod extension, and you can look and you can tilt it to where you like it, that sort of thing. Now that's great, but there are a couple of drawbacks. One, you normally buy a high capacity battery, an A screw on the back, and once that's screwed in the back, there's your tilt angle, or the minimum up angle. You can get a smaller battery pack, but that's what you need to consider. And then the other problem is you need to connect it to the HDMI output of the camera. And as I said, you have the gimbal, and it moves this way, that way, that way, that way, that way. So if you do have a cable connected to it, through the arms hanging down, it can get tangled on the arms and that type of thing, put pressure on the actual camera HDMI socket, so that could be moving and flexing away and crack a bit of solder joint, that type of thing, if you haven't got the clamp on it. So that can be expensive to repair. You say, okay, nice big picture, adjustable, fine, I've got this, I'll do it that way. I'll ask you this question, why bother? Now I'm going to talk about the Panasonic GH5, because that's the camera I've got, and an easier solution. The Panasonic GH5 has got the Panasonic Image app, and it is basically a remote control. If you've got, I think it's 4.4 Android and above, it will load up on that. So the old cheap Chinese tablets, phones, the old ones that you've got rid of because they're a year old and you want to be trendy, well, they can be quite useful. With the screen, you can see the reflections on it. You can fit a sun hood. They're quite good. They can still reflect a lot. When you get yourself, say, tablet, you can see this one is reflecting. You can also, I managed to find one. This is a Chewy VI7. It's got 5.5, whatever it is, Android in it. It was like 50, 60 bucks. So I had that for a while. And that's got a nice semi-reflective screen. Bright sunlight, always a problem, but quite good. Or you can use your Android phone. This is a Galaxy 7. On the arm, you can just get yourself a phone or a tablet holder. This is for the phones. If you've got DJI Maverick and all that type of gear, you can buy a tablet holder for the large tablets. That's what I used this for, but out in the bright sunlight I can't see it. So this then just screws on. I won't take it out of the cover, it's just for a demo. And there it is. So what happens there, and this is the other beauty side of it, on the Ronin-S, they've got a connection from the actual camera, a cable, to a little socket on the arm, and you can plug in the cable. Before you do that, if you watch my other videos on cables and memory in plastic and all that sort of stuff, get yourself a pen, get yourself a peg, and wrap up the plug, the coil, the lead. Then, as I say in my other videos, you need to do 3 or 4 cycles. So you heat it, let it cool, heat it, let it cool, heat it, let it cool. It can be left out in the sun, back parcel shelf of your car, hairdryer, and just let it cool. Then it should, after a few sessions, keep the memory of the coil. Why do you do that? Because the distance between the camera and the bottom of the arm is fairly short. When it is uncoiled straight, it hangs down too far. So do that with all your cables, it won't damage them. So that then allows you to use the hand focus wheel on the side of the arm, which is great. Again, big butts. You got your camera on the gimbal and it's slung down the bottom, slung up the top, slung over there, slung over there. What do you see to focus? You need a monitor of some description because the back of the camera may not be facing you. So although that focus wheel is great, comes with it, fantastic, you won't be able to use it 100% of the time. So if you get the Panasonic app, when it comes up, not only can you start and stop, you just have to touch your screen and it will focus. So you can have your screen in front of you like that, come around, bang, focus, focus, focus. No cables. If you get the right sort of screen, reduced reflections, I think 100 bucks for a phone or 50 bucks for a tablet, and that monitoring is a lot better than spending hundreds of dollars or $500 on a high quality monitor and then you still got the cabling problem. As I said, this is a series from the DJI Ronin-S to cable cam. I have ordered a product that's coming from eBay from China, so when it comes in I'll show it to you, but it's got 2 arms to help distribute the weight. Now, trouble there is you've got the controls in the center. How do you pan left, pan right, tilt, roll, all that sort of thing. Again, you get one tube, phone or tablet for the Panasonic, so as you can focus it and switch it on and all that. And that's on one arm one side. Then on the other side, you get another cheap tablet or phone, and that runs the Ronin control software. So on this one, you have your finger, you're hanging onto it. You want to tilt left, right, up, down, it's on one hand. You want to focus and all that, it's with the other. So you still got the balance, still works well, no cables, good life, and that's what I plan to do with the cable cam. There's 2 things with the cable cam. One is the working distance. How far can you walk away from the camera or the Ronin before you lose signal and control. If you have a 100-meter cable strung out, you stand in the middle, it's 50, but it's only a 30 range, well, you might as well only have a 60-meter cable out, because that's what you're going to get. On the Ronin, and these will be other videos as the series progress and I get enough new subscribers, I will show you how to control it by remote control. You have the remote control, which is fine for the cable cam and the Ronin, but it's then getting the signal in from the camera, and you may need a HD transmitter, or if the transmitter for the camera goes far enough, it will be good. I'm filming this on a Sony camera at the moment, and that control system is not as good as the Panasonic. One uses Bluetooth, one uses wireless, and we know which one goes the furthest. So if you've got any questions, subscribe and I'll answer them. Watch the rest of the videos in the series, and as always, thanks for watching.